I'd like to welcome Altüstü Tasarım blog owner, Teknoloji Kimin Umrunda, Who Cares About Technology book writer, head of digital for 2454, Mehmet Doğan.
It's horrible to see yourself that big. Good afternoon. I want to start with a question. How many people here think that friction and speed bumps are bad for user experience? Nobody? Really? One person, two, three, okay, challenge accepted. I'll try to change your mind. Let me introduce myself. My name is Mehmet Doğan, and I work for a company called 2454. How many people heard that name, 2454, before? One person, wow, really? Great. Oh, two, good. All right, maybe you might not know my company, but maybe you've seen some of our projects. The latest one is coming out in December 2015, a small movie project called Star Wars Episode 7. And the other one just came out in April, last month, Fast and Furious 7. If you know these two projects, then you know what my company does. At 2454, I lead the digital marketing. The ultimate goal, the holy grail, pot of gold in our business, and this applies to many of you, to create the smoothest, most velvety, speed bump-free, frictionless path to content and product that we are serving to our customers. Fast and frictionless experience, that's the name of the game. But the thing is, this term, this fast and frictionless experience, that term is leaked into our lives as well. We live in a very fast world, there is no question about it. And we, the digital people, making it even faster every second of the day. We have no patience for slow things or things that are making us slower. This is what our text messages look like, right? We cannot even type the letter O in an OK. How much time you are saving there, really? This is what our revolutions sound like. We cannot put a sentence together. It has to be 140 characters, otherwise no one will read it. Even our failures have to be fast. We have these buttons in our elevator, right? Close button. Does it really do anything? Think about it. There's a fascinating book by James Click called Faster, and he argues that this button is just a placebo. It has no function whatsoever. But the thing is, Fast and Furious is not what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about a lesser known of human nature, a little twist in our collective psyche. I want to talk about the fact that sometimes people want, sometimes people need a little friction in the process before they buy a product or an idea. I'm not here to talk about the well-known and well-practiced UX rule of eliminating the friction, but I want to talk about adding friction into our user experience. I know many of you practicing, removing the friction, and we even have a talk today about the frictionless banking experience. But the thing is, friction can be a magical ingredient in the business of UX. The problem with digital business, our businesses, it lacks friction. And it's okay because we expect the web's early promise of frictionless experience and huge increase in ease and efficiency. But the thing is, friction can add meanings to actions. Friction can give credibility to our products. Friction helps our consumers to choose the right things, right products. When you take friction out of the picture, every action becomes effortless, identical, and superficial. So to explain my side of the story, I have a few stories that I want to share with you today. The first one involves this one. How many people remember this product and hated it, right? Lots of people. I still remember my mom used to chase me with the bottle whenever I got cuts and bruises. Turkish translation, just raising the hand, awesome. So Johnson & Johnson in late 60s were looking to create a brand new antiseptic cream. And their scientists just did that. Amazing job, they did an amazing job. Their new product was painless. No sting, no burn, no hurt. Category killer, blockbuster product. And Johnson & Johnson knew this. They sat back and waited for money to roll in. When they released the product to the market, it went crazy. the sales were up. But the second time round, people weren't buying it. Johnson & Johnson couldn't understand what went wrong, so like any good company will do, they start doing user research and focus group. At the end, they stumble upon a very interesting aspect of human nature. No pain, no gain. When we don't feel the pain, we don't feel we are being healed. Fact of life. So Johnson & Johnson went back to the drawing board, asked the scientists who created the smoothest, the most velvety, friction-free product, they asked them to put a little bit alcohol in the product so it will burn. When they release it back to the market, sales went up. So deliberately added friction of pain gave the product the credibility it deserved. How many people know these four guys? Nobody over 40 here, like me? All right. These four guys are a band called Van Halen. Van Halen was one of the biggest rock bands in the world in late 70s, early 80s. And if you were one of their fans and you want to see them, you will go to their concert. And luckily enough, they gave concerts everywhere. Big cities, big towns, small towns. But what made them popular within the event organizers, not their music, not their popularity or their crazy hairdo, but it was something that was requested in their contract, very small thing. You see, every rock band such as Van Halen has a contract called rider. Rider lists technical aspect of the event, safety and healthy requirements, and the stuff like what bands would like to eat and where they would like to stay. So Van Halen had one of these rider. And in that rider it said, event organizer must have candy dish in the backstage. In that candy dish there has to be M&M candies, but in M&M candies there can't be no brown M&M. Somebody has to take them out one by one. And it's not done yet. This is the important part. If Van Halen came to the concert and saw brown M&M in the candy dish, they had to cancel the concert. I mean, it's a big deal. If you think about it, you are an event organizer, you spend lots of time and money and effort, and then these four crazy guys comes and then they see a brown M&M and they cancel the concert. And that's why they named this request as one of the most obnoxious requests ever. But what event organizers didn't know, this request, this brown M&M request was deliberately added friction. You see, Van Halen had 9 big trucks full of music equipment, and they went to many cities. In most cases, they went to big cities which had prior experience with these kind of events, and everything would go fine. But every once in a while, they will go to smaller cities which had no prior experience with this kind of production, so that created health and safety problems. In fact, before the M&M rule, brown M&M rule, their equipment got burned because of the voltage requirement wasn't there and people got hurt. So they added this deliberate friction into their contract to slow down the event organizers and to focus the task at hand. The Coinstar is a great example of friction as well. How many people know what Coinstar is? Okay, not many of you, or a few there. The Coinstar is a vending machine that you will see in United States and Canada, some cities in Canada. If you have the piggy bank full of coins, you will go up to this machine, you will dump your coin in, and it will count it, and then give you options of getting a gift card or donating your money to charity or transferring to PayPal. And Coinstar machine is an amazing machine because it counts the coins that deposited instantly. It's very fast. And that created problems. During their user testings, people didn't trust the machine. Not that the machine did a bad job, it did an amazing job. It counted the coins instantly, but that was the problem. Because people thought, or the consumers thought that this machine was cheating them. They didn't think that necessary effort wasn't there. They didn't think that any machine could be able to count the coins that fast. So just like the Johnson & Johnson did, they went back to drawing board and tried to alter the user experience. And their solution was fairly simple. What they did was, machine still counted the coins exactly the same pace, very fast, but they showed the results to consumers with a delay. So they added deliberate speed bumps into the process so the consumers will trust the machine. They also added a little sound, the coin counting sound, to give the impression that their coin was counted individually. And that particular speed bump and the friction gave the Coinstar machine the credibility it deserved. You can see friction online as well. Probably most of you want to hear this part more than all the other examples. Friction, especially in the fundraising and charity website, is there to increase the donations and opening people's wallet. Charity websites, the fundraising websites, studied the human nature very closely because what they sell is a really hard sell. If you think about it, what they sell, you give them money and you feel good. That's a hard sell. So they know every little trick in the book to persuade people to donate generously. This is a typical donation form looks like, right? Let's look at the options. $5, $50, and $500. Here's the thing. Charity has no expectation whatsoever that you are going to give them $500. None whatsoever. And the $5 there is a smaller form of friction. And it doesn't worth the effort. You are going to take out your wallet, put your credit card information and all that stuff for $5. It doesn't worth it. So they framed the desired donation number with the shock of $500 and the embarrassment of $5, and they try to guide you to a sweet spot. Those two boxes, the $500 and the $5 boxes, are there for friction, for you to find the right spot, which is the $50 that they want you to donate. When Google was redesigning the blogger.com, people were putting their information, and the very last step, create my blog step, they will press that button and their blog will be created, but they will just sit in front of the machine, in front of the computer, and wouldn't do anything. Just like the Coinstar experience, they thought that the necessary effort wasn't there. They thought that the process was too quick, and they thought that there was a mistake in the process. So Blogger team created this page. When you still enter your information, when you press Create My Blog, this page comes up. It has no function whatsoever. That little animated GIF just spins around for a few seconds and takes you to the blog. And this new, slow version of the same experience gives the credibility to the product as well. One of my favorite examples in friction is Hipstamatic, because their business model is all about friction. Hipstamatic tries to move the digital photography experience closer to analog experience. So if you take a picture, for instance, with Hipstamatic, you cannot see the picture right away. You have to wait until it develops, just like the analog one that you will take the camera roll and go to get it developed. So it's the same thing. And the service offers you different lenses, different flashes, different films, but you have to consciously make adjustment to find the perfect settings or the perfect photo you want to take. All these micro frictions that they added to their experience creates impression on customers that what they take, what that picture looks like, is something that's effort worthy, or something that they spend lots of time and effort to get to that result. And that is one of the reasons that you want to add friction into your user experience, so things are not just happens instantly. Getting the sign-up flow is important as well. That's why you see many websites and apps use one-click approach, or better yet, you click on social network login buttons and you are in. In 2007, when Lumosity launched their the app, which helps people to exercise their brain with mental games, they follow the same logic. When you make your sign-up flow easier, people will come in and you are going to grow faster. But what they did was, when they tried to tweak the sign-up flow, they found out that if they add a little bit of complexity, their users became more valuable. Their sign-up flow looks like this. I'll read it for you. So you have to go to the Lumosity, and you go through 5 different pages that ask you about your cognitive training interest. And after that 5 pages, you put your email address and you start playing the game. And their current sign-up flow looks like, takes you through 5 survey questions before you can even enter your email address. Once you do, there are 2 more screens, even more questions about your personal details, such as education level and how much sleep you get. Still not done. You then take into a fit test, which to calibrate your starting point. When Lumosity team A/B tested this new sign-up flow, they find out that all the frictions that they added to their sign-up process didn't do any damage. In fact, it increased the engagement level and the subscription rate, which is their revenue model. So adding friction into sign-up process activates user and get rid of the reverse network effect that many of the social network channels suffer. Another one is, just like the Lumosity, Pinterest deliberately adds friction into the user sign-up flow as well. The third one from the top is Pinterest onboarding process. As you can see, there's nothing even close to that. For Lumosity and Pinterest, creating a completely frictionless experience might mean that people sign up, then slide right through to inactivity and cancellation. To get rid of that inactivity and cancellation and activate their user and get rid of the reverse network effect, they add lots of friction into their process. So it's not just enter your email address and you are in. You can slow down people and add friction, not just adding friction into your sign-up flow, but you can do that with slow copy as well. When it comes to slow copy, Patagonia is just absolutely amazing. Patagonia website sells outdoor equipment. But they are not only selling outdoor equipment, they are also selling outdoor experience as well. It's a wider thing that they do. It's like Starbucks. Starbucks is not selling the coffee, but the coffee experience. And Patagonia is the same thing. They sell the broader outdoor experience. So when you come to the Patagonia website, a product like this, they sell jacket that's in Turkish red color, which I didn't know it was a color. They tell you lots of things about the product. But they are not just telling the product, as the product attribute, but they are telling you all about the context of the product as well. There are bullet points about the product, but if you look at the bullet points, it's not like something that you will see in other websites. It's lengthy and slows down the user. So who writes copy like this, right? If you read it, you'll see that they are trying to get you right inside the context that particular product should be used, not just any product. So what they are trying to do is they want you to think about the product and see that yourself in that product and then buy it. They are not trying to push you right inside the purchasing funnel right away. And that's the actual experience that we go through offline as well. When we want to buy a jacket in offline store, we are not just going to the store and pick up the first jacket, but sometimes we go with our friends, we try it on, we talk to clerk, and we try to understand what kind of context that we are going to use. And that's what they do. And they are trying to carry that offline experience to online with the long copy. You can also add friction into your website to drive the exploration and discovery. And H&M does this very well. I had to actually make this presentation 20 minutes, so I had another example from Disney. Disney does this as well. To drive encourage people to explore and discover, Disney waiting lines has lots of interactivity built in, and that friction helps people to remember their experience than any other experience that they will go through. And H&M does this as well with their website. So when you go to H&M website, it doesn't show you all the products and their prices, but they show you one collection, and even then, in that collection, you will see only one price. Rest of it has to be explored and discovered on the site. To summarize, you can use friction in your UX for 4 reasons. Because maybe you are trying to drive the sense of exploration and discovery. Help your customers to learn more about the process rather than just go through the process blindly, like H&M and Hipstamatic does. Maybe you're trying to encourage deliberate choices. If you are trying to get people slow down, weigh the different options, maybe make the right purchase, not just any purchase, but put the right things into their shopping cart, like Patagonia and many of the donation websites do. Maybe you're trying to focus your customer at the task at hand. Maybe you're presenting content or imagery or information that you need your customer's 110% attention to that particular task, and you don't want any distraction. You want to be able to get all the attention that user have, like the brown M&M example that I talked about. Also, friction gives credibility to our products as well. Adding friction into user experience matches customers' expectation, which in return creates trust, as we've seen in Coinstar and Johnson & Johnson example. Friction works. Friction and speed bump bring many positive outcomes to our experience that we are creating. It brings credibility, it brings guidance to steer the people towards positive outcomes. It makes people think in our very fast and furious world. When we sit down and try to figure out how we design a user experience of something, we need to understand the human nature elements at play. I lived a big part of my life in Canada, and as you know, the Canadian winters are quite miserable and the summers are quite short. So you need to get the most out of your summer. To do that, you need a hobby. And as a Turkish guy, the golf and the croquet and horseback riding wasn't an option for me, so I selected something that I knew I was doing when I was little. So I selected sea kayaking. But I quickly realized that sea kayaking in Atlantic Ocean is quite different than doing it in Black Sea. So to learn more about it, I bought a book that I heard about it in a presentation was given by Jeff Veen. And this is the book. And I wouldn't recommend you to read it when you are going to bed, because it talks about 20 deadly sea kayaking stories. Anything from capsizing to sharks to hypothermia to ocean-line waves. But this book shows you something else as well. This book talks about that 20 people who either hurt themselves or died, and you learn about their mistakes, and you learn in this book the potential life-saving lessons because you learn from others' mistakes. There's a line in this book that stuck with me until this day that Jeff Veen shared in his presentation. It's this one. So let's say you are sea kayaking in Bay of Fundy, right? And some reason you are capsized and the water temperature is around 10 degrees, even in summertime. And you have 5 minutes to get out of that water before the hypothermia sets in. So what do? You follow the rule that you learn in page 24 or the one that you heard about it in page 54. So you really, really need to understand the reasons behind the rules before you can make a sound decision that might save your life or save your user experience design. As I said, the ultimate goal, the holy grail, pot of gold in our business is to create the smoothest, most velvety, speed bump-free, frictionless experience for our customers. And we follow the same rules of UX and UI, which is fine. They're all good. I mean, you should remove the unnecessary friction. You should get rid of the speed bumps, and it should be, no delays, and it should be fast. Don't make me think, right? But along the way, we forget about an important fact is related to our human nature. It's this one. Sometimes people need little friction in the process before they buy a product or idea from you. So friction is the secret ingredient in the business of UX. So if you're ever struggling to get people to a certain place, if you want them to focus and make the right decision, or if you ever looking to leverage point to move a mountain, maybe you need is a little friction. And to do that, sometimes you really need to break the rules and to break the practice to look at how friction can help you. Thank you.